Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Alright, welcome folks here tonight here for the Fire Kings Motorsports Crooked Line Racing Tour Modifieds Stafford. And this is going to be a good one. We're in qualifying right now, so these guys are trying to gear up here a little bit. I don't know. What's this track like here tonight, Tanner?
Man, if so I know you're from the Cup side of things, and you think of Martinsville, I think of Stafford. I mean, it's really similar. Martinsville's a little bit tighter as far as your corners and stuff, but this track drives a lot like Martinsville, and you're going to see the bump and run tonight because you're going to want to be on that low line. And you see the apron right here, it's a little bit lighter gray. It's more like concrete surface. It is it's really slick down there, but you will see drivers attempt to go down there and try to make a pass. So it's going to be interesting here tonight.
Yeah, I'm watching the qualifying right here and seeing these guys, kind of a little slip coming out of the turns, but like you said earlier, being tight, we'll see. Now, most of the short tracks we deal with have been kind of single file. What is it? Maybe the same scenario is going to happen here at this track?
So if you see where the track gets really dark in the corner, the groove's kind of worked its way up a little bit. So they're doing a diamond effect. We might see double file action, but it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be another one of them type of tracks where you got to work that guy in front of you and wait for him to make a mistake. But they could prove me wrong. They could go out here and go double file from the restart. I'm not sure, to be honest. But I'm expecting some hard follow the leader for a little bit. Let the drivers get accustomed to being in traffic, But I think around the halfway point of this race, things are going to get spiced up pretty big.
And it is a big enough track that if they kind of get, spread out a little bit, then hey, you got room to kind of modulate and so forth. I mean, actually seeing it right here in the qualifying, being an open style qualifying here, kind of gives us an idea what we're going to look like in the race if they get spread out. Gives guys like those clusters that we see. So it looks like Thomas Axiom, who kind of struggled last week, out there on pole this week.
He did. He put in a really good Q lap, had a good practice lap. He liked the setup that these guys have this week, this fixed setup that we provided them. He was a fan of it. A lot of drivers were a fan of it. So I'm hoping, just from their feedback, that it's going to be a racy type set. And what I mean by that, I'm hoping they can get out here and kind of race pretty hard with each other and put on a good show for us.
Absolutely. Well, you got, like I said, Joe Burchett right there sitting in second, Hatcher there in third, Brown fourth, and Allen runs off top five. So here we go. Set to go green flag here tonight at Stafford, the Fire Kings Motorsports Crooked Line Racing Tour Mods. This is mid-season, like you said, kind of a special event. No competition caution, so that's going to be interesting when it comes to pit strategy. Normally we talk about the pit strategy stuff.
Oh yeah, that so we kind of left that up to the drivers this week with a special race, and heard feedback that they wanted to try it without the competition caution. But as we've seen, Joe, these cars take forever and a day to add fuel to them. So if these drivers aren't smart, if they don't play the pit strategy smart in terms of fuel and tires, that could really determine this race.
Yeah, and you definitely, if you're pitted on the green, you're going to go a lap down, maybe a couple laps down, who knows. But so you're right, you got to have that strategy. And, I know we talked about, there's another special thing we talked about, putting up a little bit of money here tonight for some green flag laps. That's what I want to kind of get into next is cautions out there is probably the only biggest thing that's going to save you as far as pitting, if the caution falls right, that is.
Yeah, you always, so that's these short track leagues that offer a set of tires, Joe. We do about 4 of them every week. I commentate this one, but I race in the other 3. And I'll tell you, it's stressful because if that mid-race caution comes out, say like tonight, 150 lap race, if that caution comes out around lap 70, you're like, do I pit and lose track position if I'm up front? Do I not pit and then hope everybody around me don't pit as well? It's stressful. And no matter what, Joe, I have the type of luck, and I tell my teammates, if I'm pitting, don't go with me because I have terrible luck. Something's going to mess me up, So these drivers tonight, they're going to have to pinpoint it. They're going to have to get up on that wheel. This is a driver's track. You'll hear that. I heard that about 5 times during practice tonight. Stafford Motor Speedway is a driver's track, and so we're going to see. I think the cream's going to rise to the top here.
I think so, and that's what it looks like. It's obviously one of the the prime tracks for tour, kind of the tour modifieds or modified cars, so to speak. Here, we talked about it week in and week out. We'll have to see what happens. We're getting set here to go green flag tonight here. Some more short track racing. Appreciate everybody tuning in. It's gonna be a good one as always the starts kind of Gotta hang on a little bit.
I say it. The starts can dictate your race, and I want to hit on it really quick, Joe, before these drivers get on that loud pedal. We got $1 for every clean lap they run tonight. If they run 150 clean laps, they got $150 to the person that has the lowest incident points that finishes the best. But these drivers are about to go green flag racing here, Joe.
Pace cars in. Here we go. Axiom and company up front. Going to bring them to the line. They come out of turn 4. Green flag. We're racing here at Stafford. Let's see what happens in turn 1. Everybody stacked them up 2 by 2.
You're going to see these drivers start to fight to get down, but they're still 2 by 2 and further on back in the pack, even fighting for the 3rd position right now.
Yeah, that's around where Jason Day, Kilroy, and you got Allen and all there, but you can already see it's kind of a bottom groove style track. Everybody's trying, like you said, to fight to get down on that bottom. That outside lane is just not where you want to be. And Dalton right now is finding that out the hard way. As he can't get down there, he's just falling and losing spots left and right.
Yeah, so this kind of point right here, you're looking for a teammate in your mirror to eventually let you down. We have a few different teams out here, and when you get that teammate to let you down, it's a blessing in disguise, because that gets you down. You're not getting freight trained anymore, because you want to be down low right now. You don't want to be on the outside of another driver.
Yeah, and he finally got in there, but fell back to the 7th place spot. Everybody's kind of single file right now. A little for the back here, and we kind of see pretty much everybody's kind of single file, and that's what we kind of saw in the qualifying earlier. A lot of guys, and you see the Zeems right there. It looks like we got 2 cars didn't start. Well, that's Tanner. Never mind. And Scott still. I guess Scott's what, admin?
Yeah, he's doing race control for me.
Oh, okay. But never mind about the last 2. They're admin people.
We're here to trick you, just to throw you off a little bit, keep you on your toes.
Yeah, there we go. Quadros, we back here 14th. We know he can get through the field, but we talked about, what's it going to take to get through this field. I mean, everybody's kind of even right now. Look at these lap times. You talk about the leader, he's running 1886. You got to go all the way back to 1933. Well, that's what, half second maybe? That's just not a lot.
Especially on these short tracks, when you start clicking these laps off so fast. I mean, like you said, it's the 18-second lap. But I tell you, I'm looking at this this grid right here right now. We got some fast guys further on back in the pack, like Zach Murphy in the 21 machine, Mike Klein in the 20. They're going to be looking to make their way up towards the front, I know, because I know them personally. I know how they race, and they don't want to be back there in 10th and 9th. They want to be up in the top 5 at least.
Yeah, they do. Right now, you see Axiom and Burcham right now. It's kind of pulling away from Acker right there. I guess that's how you say his last name. Acker?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I guess, I think.
Hey, we'll go with it unless he corrects us.
Right. If not, tell us different.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you see his top 2's got about a second and a half, almost 2 seconds on him. You see Jack Brown hanging on right there. See, in a cluster of machines behind them, it's pretty much a freight train all the way back to run about 10th, 11th place spot. So, from what I'm seeing now, it doesn't look like anybody has an advantage over anyone. I mean, it's kind of just a dead even track right here.
I tell you what, Joe, when I'm thinking right now, being one of the owners of 5 King Motorsports to put up that lap bonus, $1 for every clean lap, I'm starting to get nervous. I feel my pocket's starting to shake a little bit. These drivers, they're calm, cool, and collected right now, and I'm not.
Well, now, let me ask how you're going to do this. What if there's multiple drivers with 0 incidents?
It's going to be so.
Then it'd be position?
It's going to go by position. So whoever finishes the highest up with the least amount. So they don't have to have a 0x. Okay. But if say they have a 2x and everybody else has a 4x or whatever, as long as they have the least amount and they're the highest up on the board, they will get the money.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that's brought to you by 5 Kings Motorsports. Give them a like on Facebook. We're chasing 2,000 followers right now, Joe. We're getting there slowly but surely. We're getting there.
Heck yeah. I'll tell you what, Axiom right now, I mean, that's the best place to be is out front. Obviously, you're in the clean air. There's nobody around you. Yeah, you don't have really anything, bothering you and so forth. And this track, I gotta say right now, just by looking at these cars, probably looks the most stable I've seen these guys race all season. Not taking anything away from them, but we've had some pretty treacherous tracks. I mean, obviously Concord last week was a doozy. It just looks like these guys are more comfortable here. you could just tell by how the car's reacting, and they're not sliding around, not yet, anyways. But they just look more stable right now.
I tell you though, Joe, I'm nervous about Axiom and that 13 machine and Joe the show. With them getting this lead that they do have, it makes me wonder, are they burning their stuff up? And we've seen that. We've seen leaders get out, they lead like the first 80 laps, and then they start to fall back. They start to get reeled in by the field behind them, third place and on back. So is Axiom and them, are they asking too much out of their equipment? That's something that we're going to watch as this race goes on.
Being a leader, you bring that up, that's interesting, because being a leader, sometimes you don't really know right off of how much to push the car or whatnot, as opposed to guy second, or I'll even say third place is probably the optimum place to be, is because then you can kind of dictate how, like you said, the leader and all is running. Do I want to push that car even further to try to run him down? Do I want to try to maintain the time? So forth and so on. So you get more of an idea of how to run your car. And, that's kind of a double-edged sword of being the leader out there. Unless you just really know the track and know your car, to me, sometimes it can be tough being a leader because you just don't know how much to push that machine.
So we've hit on this a few times with like the 1-to-1 ratio and whatnot, Joe. I've noticed that Axiom is really, really smooth in and smooth off. But if you look further on back to the field, like, I can't tell who that is you're showing right now. The 26 machine, the 52. I've seen some drivers, they're sliding, and we hit on it every week. These cars, the way they're built, you don't just get a two-wheel slide. You're sliding all four tires on the entry, and I've noticed that further back on, I'm getting in the pack.
Yeah, and now you're going to start, we're getting into laps now where the tires and, stuff will start to show up and whatnot. Now, you do have a bigger pack back here. I mean, Axiom right now has got a, pretty much a clean racetrack where he's at. You do see here, I mean, you've got this kind of cluster of machines right here. You see a little, battle going on right there behind him. You see that's J Day going to try to work over Brown. So now you're going to start seeing guys that are a little bit better, on the longer run, better with their tire management. I mean, that was a clean pass right there by Day. I gotta go out on a limb here a minute. It's about as clean of a pass as we've seen all season long, really.
It was, and I like seeing that. So we saw Jack kind of right, but Jack also kind of stepped over for him. Kind of showed him the line and let him take it, and that's give and take at its finest. Now you see he's going to try to battle back and look underneath Day here, but you got to get that drive off to end up getting him in the next corner. And we talk about it all the time. Don't try to pass on corner entry. Pass him on corner exit. Set him up on corner entry and then pass him on corner exits. But Jason Day, he passed him on corner entry right there and made it look pretty easy.
He did. He got Kilroy right there behind them, Allen, Raymond, and Klein. I mean, you just got a whole freight train of machines there. And usually when you see, kind of a cluster of cars, what you're going to see after a while is, you see one or two step out of line, make a pass here. Again, one of these races where we talk about it, you're not really going to see anybody come through the field just blazing it unless they're on a newer set of tires or whatnot. It pretty much just everybody's kind of dead even. I mean, lap time wise, it's like the top two guys. They ran almost identical times. And then, Hacker right behind them. We talked about it. He is running a little bit faster, him and Day. So, let's see if they're going to run them down up front.
You might want to show the camera to Ed Brown. He's currently in 19th. It's the 1988 and the 1. They are fussing on the radio, and I've seen some slight contact between these drivers, so I heard them start kind of using some four-letter words, Joe, that we can't use on a PG-13 show here. And
yeah, that Brown, that's like you said, Brown, Smith. That's Smith right there with Langham. I said it right, Langham, Langham. And
you see that he's going to give way to the leaders right there. So now's when it gets interesting. You see Joe, he's kind of caught Thomas Axiom. Now, he never was really far off of him, but he's got there to his bumper. And so Thomas Axiom out of his windshield is no more clean air. And these cars, you would not think it, Joe, but they don't like dirty air a whole lot here. And it's
I'm
weird.
wondering, you were just talking about that, choice words down the track. You see this, James Smith and Langham right there. Maybe the urgency is because, like you said, the leader's behind us. I'm faster than you. Get out the way. You know,
Right.
you can see it right there where Smith might be quicker, and he's like, "Man, I'm about to go a lap down." You know, and then just pushing
he
and
driving
shoving.
by the
and,
wreck.
woo,
Yeah, these
boy, look
drivers-
at Axiom. That's a good move.
They're doing this in front of the leader.
Yellow out. Zach Murphy. Go back and see what happened to him. He was in that pack up there, but I think that was a little bit of urgency right there on the part. And he just got up on the wall, and we've seen it many times. These cars just do not like getting near the wall. They'll kind of climb it. Got in the wall a little bit, but Smith, yeah, I think it was just a little bit of an urgency right there because you saw action, but that's something Axiom didn't want to see. Two cars getting into it in front of him. That's a good move on his end to go through the grass, though.
And I tell you, Axiom being the leader right there. And I tell people, so we discussed this last week. There was a guy that was mad at a driver that was a lap down, correct? But I have to tell him, I was like, well, they are racing too. So like that guy that's a lap down, he's still racing just like the leader is. So he doesn't have to necessarily just move over. And those guys were racing for position in front of Axiom, but Axiom wasn't happy right then over the radio. And if I was in his shoes, I'm not sure how you would react, Joe, but I kind of understand it. I wouldn't be happy either if they're beating and banging in front of me. And they were going at it on the radio, and then they took it to the track in front of the leaders, you know?
Yeah, and it's just kind of one of those, like we just said, it's kind of a building pot, kind of, so to speak. I mean, you know, they saw the leader coming, they're about to go a lap down. The one guy's thinking he's faster, and the other one in front of him is holding him up. And then you just basically, patience goes out the window. You know, Thomas wants to get around him. He doesn't want to see it. Guys in front of him want to get away from him. And next thing you know, it's just chaos.
It was. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's you know, Joe, that's why I love short track racing.
And that's it. That takes back short track racing.
Because it's one groove. You know, you're just sitting there and you're just going. You know, it's one groove. You're clicking off laps, and then you get that enemy in your target. And on these one groove tracks, short tracks, no matter what, you get mad at a guy. It seems like no matter what, Joe, you look up, he's always right there with you. It's just how it works. And those drivers, they chattered for a few laps, and then one of them finally tried to solve it, I guess.
And yeah, I mean, you never want to see it. Obviously, the caution came from something else up front there. But
I didn't even realize that. I was handling other stuff.
Yeah, that could have, you know, obviously what we was watching there could have been more disastrous than what it was. But it wasn't. We're good. Now, I know Thomas is probably going, did not want to see the caution. I know you wanted to see the caution because it kind of breaks up your dollar for every lap.
Scotty said $1 saved is what he just messaged me. So it's
There
actually
you
me and Scotty Stevens that are doing it. And he messaged me with a smiley face saying $1 saved.
There'll be a couple dollars saved, actually. Are y'all not counting all the caution laps?
Yeah.
There you go. Hey.
And you know what, Joe? To be honest here, it's re-racks them right here, buddy. And you know what I'm saying? Caution,
Let's see
free
if
caution.
Axiom can get back out. I mean, Hacker was a little bit faster there. So let's see if they can get that lead out there like they can now. Remember, the tire's a little bit worn. Not as good as it was. I mean, obviously, Thomas is going to get the good jump out front. Let's see if everybody goes single
They're 3
file.
wide behind him.
Man, you know how these restarts go.
Yeah,
Cars
we
off
got
track.
people going to the grass. That's Zach Murphy, and I don't think he'll get a caution for that, Joe.
Shouldn't. Get back on the track fine. Yep, as long as they don't.
Oh, a caution down the track.
Well, yeah, that's in front of them up there. Looks like Brandon Metler. See what happened. Like car in front of them got up on the wall, and then Brandon nowhere to go. Got into him, and from there, just kind of chaos. So the wall is stepping out, biting them.
So that's funny you say that, because I say it all the time. There's a few tracks on here where it don't matter what you do on the exit, just like that wall reaches out and grabs you. So that's funny that you said that right there.
Yeah, that wall, man, he loves it. And it is open wheel cars, obviously, to get up. It's just like on the dirt side of the thing with the sprint cars I talk about a lot. You see it with those hugely, you know, because they're open wheel. They'll get up there, the tires just will catch that wall and it'll just climb it. You know, and it's the same thing with these. The tire get up there and climb it. We got pit stops too in the back. Looks like
I was wondering if we're going to start having people elect the pit.
it's like Mettler, Quadros, and Langham.
Can you see on your live racing timing? Can you see if anybody pitted any this race? I was trying to
So
watch.
far, the ones that have pitted, Zach Murphy, Mettler, Quadros, Smith, which they just did. Langham is still in pits. Zeems and Day is the only other ones that are pitted. Everybody else from 10th on up have not pitted. So your top 10 have yet to pit. And Mettler and Quattros only had 2 and 3 second pit stops, so they probably just fueled. Murphy had a 12 second, so maybe 2 tires.
Or I think Mettler and them, they could have possibly used a fast repair, but I didn't think their damage was that bad.
It didn't look too bad. Now, I mean, Brandon right there, Mettler, I mean, he did pop that one car pretty hard, so I don't know if the front end was bad or if he thought it was. Didn't get a really good shot, but I'm like you. From what I saw, it didn't look too bad, but some drivers, that's another thing we don't bring up a lot with the fast fix. If the damage is not that bad, try to hang on to that thing just in case you do get into a bad wreck later in the race.
Absolutely. I'm bad about that. So if these cars, Joe, the way Brendan hit right then, it wasn't hard. I'll have to talk to him after the race, but
yeah,
anything in the front end of these cars, it's so finicky. I think it's more of an iRacing deal, and I know you know what I'm talking about, where sometimes you can plow somebody and get a 0x, and other times you barely touch somebody and they're both saying how to get a 4x. And these cars, their suspension on the front end, so they got these bars that wrap around. We see all that. They look like big go-karts, but then their wheels are completely open, and any type of damage directly to those does cause damage. He may have had, his steering wheel may have been off or anything. I'm not sure, but I think he did take a fast repair.
And it could be like you said, we don't know. I mean, without being inside the cars, pace car goes off. Here we go, getting set to go back green.
Thomas
Thomas and Burcham, and Thomas gets a good jump out. I mean, obviously he gets control of the field there. Acker's the man behind him there. You see Kilroy trying. He got on the inside this time. Now here's where you got to be a little bit careful. The tires are getting a lot worn than what they were. They're not as good on the start. You see right there, Burcham's trying to pressure axe him a little bit on here. So good little battle back here though with Brown and company.
Yeah, there's a few different, we call it every week, clusters, and you see everybody they're jockeying for position because they know once this field gets single file out, it's hard to pass. And we talk about it every single week. You got to get what you can on these restarts.
You saw Raymond right there. He was down on the apron, got a little bit slippery for him there. And another car up on the wall, and there you go. I'm gonna tell you what.
Two of them.
That's Lewis Allen. It looks like.
Did you see that? Somebody ended up on their lid, and I don't think they got flipped over.
Let's see what happened here on the replay. I don't know who that was. Oh, that's that's Lewis. He we gonna have to give him a 10 to 10 on that spin.
I wonder if he's stuck right there. I wonder if he can get off that wall.
He's stuck. Yep.
He's stuck off that bar, so he's got a tow. Tough break for that driver.
That would look pretty good though. Got to give style points out there. We'll give him some style points. And okay, something we didn't see at the beginning of the race. These guys are now, and you see Burcham's in on pit road. So, one of the top leaders now coming in. But here's something. Now the drivers are word I'm looking for here. Going to have to be concerned with the wall. Are they pushing the car too much up against the wall now, or what? Interesting. As we're watching Burchett.
Yeah, Joe the show elected to pit.
He's not taking tires though.
Maybe he's adding fuel.
That's a lot of fuel.
Yeah, that is. That's what I was thinking. I was wondering, sitting there watching him on my screen.
Wow, yeah, we just
He's
watched this
coming
whole
up.
pit stop, and it took 29 seconds for the whole pit stop.
This fuel
He
thing,
never
Joe,
took
is getting
fuel.
weird.
Now, let me ask a question here, though, Tanner. Why would you not take at least 2 tires if it's going to take 29 seconds to fill that thing up?
I don't know. And that's what I'm saying. We thought we had this fuel thing figured out, right? So we
Yeah.
thought about 26, 27 seconds, correct? You take 4 tires of fuel. And then he does 28-second stop right there, but no tires. So,
Yeah, I mean, we've always been known, it's like, I'll use Talladega or Daytona. Normally, you don't have to take 4 tires in a NASCAR race on those. You can get away with 2. Heck, sometimes you can get away with none, but most of the time, you just 2 tires. And see, now he's coming back on pit, so I think he missed an opportunity for tires. Something went wrong on that pit stop. But anyways, I use Talladega and him. You're going to have to get fuel no matter what, and it's going to take at least 10 to 12 seconds to put fuel in. You might as well get 2 tires. Might as well. 4 tires, yeah, it'll take a little longer, but Birch is back on pit road. He got a penalty. He got a penalty, I think, on pit road.
but
There's
you
no
also
way
got,
because
yeah,
now he's
that's-
not taking tires at all. Yep, he got a penalty. I think speeding penalty is what he got.
You're
That's
probably
gonna
right.
hurt.
So the pit speed here is only 35.
Yeah,
And
he
it's
got a penalty because that was 19 seconds. He took no tires.
It's a really weird pit road to hit. So you see how you got going on access road?
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird pit road to hit because of where the we got a car stopped on the track right there.
See that? I'm not sure who that is. That's Brown. I don't know why would have been stopped on
Oh,
track.
he had an EOL from the last caution. He was trying to let that driver by. They extended the
yeah.
caution one lap for him. I don't know why he just didn't catch field, but what do I know? I'm just a broadcaster in the booth.
Yeah,
huh?
man, yeah, let him handle it. But yeah, now Burton was going to have his work cut out for him. I really, with all that, I would have at least took 2 tires because
But I was
now he's
wondering-
still on the same set of tires, trying to go through the field, which really is no benefit. At least with 2
But
tires,
Joe-
maybe you could see how fast it is. I don't know.
You got to think they only have one set in the pits, so maybe he's thinking a later caution, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand this whole. I don't understand giving up a second right there to go down pit road and not take tires or anything.
Yeah, me too. Especially this early on that. But hey, either way, we'll see if it pays dividends later on in the race. As we go back green, you see Thomas gets out
Ooh,
and
Dalton
Kilroy
gets
in the
spun.
wall. Wow.
People might think Kilroy got spun right there. Now, before I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I think he kind of came down on this driver right here. Let's see what we can see
Yeah,
here.
we'll watch the replay so we can get a good angle on it.
This,
Maybe spinning the tires too on Kilroy's part.
Right.
Remember, these guys are on older tires. We don't talk a lot about spinning them on the start. He got going good right there, and I don't know. I mean, that's close.
That's just racing in my book.
Yeah, I mean,
Joe.
it's just the 2 guys. I don't know. That was really, really close. It's unfortunate though. Right there, you can see that thing smoking. So he's gonna have to do a fast fix on it to get it back. But I mean, something that close, man. I always chalk that up to a racing incident. I mean, but there again, it's whatever the admin see on it. But
it would be on.
yeah, that's
It
close.
would be on Brian Hacker, and he's been up front for the most part of this race. He's been running third behind Burchett for most of this race. So that's going to be a tough break if he does get a EOL.
Yeah. I'd like to say, I mean, hey, I don't know. I mean, 2 guys taking up the same spot.
So race control just came through, and they're going to call it a racing incident. I'm not sure why
And
Thomas was
you know
passed
what? And normally, like I say, I stay out of that. I don't know what Thomas is doing either.
I think he's having. I know what he's having. He's having to do something, so he pulled up in front of the pace car so he could stop, get in front of him a little bit.
Looks like he's blinking a little bit.
Yeah, he's blinking pretty bad too.
If we can't get it right, but I would go back to that incident. I mean, normally, I just let out, the and I do let the race control do their stuff. It isn't like that. That'd be to me. That's the right call. I give credit on credit. I mean, because sure, you're never gonna make either one of those guys happy. Somebody's gonna be mad. Somebody's gonna be glad. And but yet, if both of those guys go back and watch that, they really should. If they're level-headed, I'll say it that way. Let me say it that way. Should say, yeah. Hey, look, we just got into each other, trying to take the same spot, because there wasn't really no adverse movement there. There wasn't really, no dive bomb or anything like that. It's just got into each other.
And since they didn't complete a lap right there, iRacing put them single file for whatever reason.
Okay, so it might be good. What to see here? We know Axiom's been out front. We got the Hacker right there behind him. Raymond, Klein. Let's see. It's been a good one. I know it's now on the good side. It's been a good race. The bad side, just cautions. On the good side is saving you some money as we go back. So there we go.
We
good,
talked
bad
about
all around.
Axiom gets a great jump, like always. I mean, that's like deja vu. But we talked about there wasn't a whole lot of movers. Zach Murphy's currently running 6th now. We saw him going through the grass while ago with no caution, so that's a good bounce back for Zach Murphy right now.
Everham right there up in the 7th, like you said, with Murphy and Quadros. You talked about it earlier, so and about that 6th, 7th place spot, everybody's just kind of single file, trying to be patient. You're going to have to pick them off one by one through this field. I know now they've seen a couple guys get up there on that wall. Do you start... As a driver, that becomes a mental thing now. I know when I talk, reference to some dirt racing a lot. They talk about the cushion and stuff like that in the turns. A lot of times you get up there on the wall, and a lot of those guys sometimes slap that wall, and you see a lot of guys say, well, yeah, up top is the fastest way around the track, but I don't like it up there because it's risk versus reward. Well,
this guy
same
right
thing
here.
There you go. You just saw it right there. Another guy popping the wall, and I'm not sure who it was. And then he just destroys.
Oh man,
that was Chris.
That was really weird. What happened right there? Yeah, we're going to go back and watch that. That was. I don't know about this. It looked like almost a malfunction.
He got on the wall.
Wheel.
He got on the wall.
Oh, okay.
He got on the wall right before it. I'm kind of curious of how he got on the wall. Let's see if that car kind of slides up the track. Yeah, he just comes out of the turn pushing, and then from there he tries to avoid, and probably his steering was messed up because you can kind of see it or locking it up,
Did you see his left front right there?
Yeah.
His left front was broke. So yeah, so that's what we were talking about earlier. The suspension on these cars are so weird. Now that wasn't that weird because he plowed the wall, But I think right here we're going to see a pretty busy pit lane. But not really.
Back on pit road again.
My goodness, Joe, the show. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Let's see if he's in Discord. I want to interview Joe. He's not.
I want to see if he takes tires this time. He don't take tires this time. I'm curious as to why he would keep putting fuel in. Unless his strategy is no tires this race. Can they go without tires?
It's tough. If I'm up front, Joe, I don't want to pit. If I'm running 5th, 6th, 7th, I'm gonna do it because by the end of this race, your tires are gonna be about 60%,
right.
And that's not, you're not gonna blow over nothing like that. But your pace is gonna be a lot slower.
Here's what the only thing I can come up with the reason is, all right, is he's probably banking Axiom and all those guys up there who have yet, but I mean, you've got a lot of guys who have actually made pits, out fueling these guys, because obviously they're going to have to come in and fuel these cars up again, or fuel them up because they haven't came in to begin with. So as he comes back on pit, maybe his crew's just confused. I don't know. I mean, this is odd. Or he's got damage and we just don't know. But then wouldn't he use his fast fix?
Right. I just don't understand. If it's damage that's critical, where you got to go multiple times.
Yeah, you might as well just use fast fix then.
Right. So in my mind, Joe, you do NASCAR. If I have over 1.5 minutes, I'm gonna use a fast repair.
Oh yeah.
Anything
definitely.
under that, I'm gonna try to get it fixed and see if I'm competitive. If I'm not competitive, then I'm gonna use it, obviously.
I just don't. At some point, because we're working on, we're halfway here, we're close to it. At some point, unless he's just going to try this race without tires, like I was going off before, I was going to say, is maybe try to get far enough in front of these guys when they pit, and hopefully it goes green the rest of the way, which we're going green right now. That would be the only thing I could see, but that's a big risk. As you see, everybody's kind of single file. Thomas Axiom out front there again, along with Raymond. So I don't know. It's just something we'll keep up with. I get confused on it. I mean, he's marred back here in traffic. He's definitely fast. I mean, he can come through the field, but without, I mean, he would be a lot faster with. You see, that's not what he wants to see in front of him. I don't know who that is. He held on to it though.
But it messed him up getting in. It gave him a terrible entry into 1 and 2 there. But he's able to recover. It was Frank Barbary that took a wild ride through the grass, but he was also able to recover.
We got
you see double foul. Yeah.
Jack Brown right here with Abraham and company. So again, a little bit of clusters, going on. Everybody's trying to get through it. Kilroy right there, trying to make that pass. Everybody's trying to get into the position that they want. You got Hacker kind of way up the track there. And in front of him, Murphy. We talked about Murphy before. And Klein. Your top 3 guys have yet to make a pit stop. Hacker's not made one, sitting in 5th. Now, Murphy made one at lap 33. So all Axiom right now, though.
I'm kind of thinking with these cautions, Joe, they might be able to make it on fuel, but I really and truly, in our head, when we calculated it, I don't know how many cautions we've had. I haven't been paying, counting them. Yeah, but you needed quite a bit to be able to make it. And the way Thomas has been driving this race, he's been fast out the gate every single lap.
Well, we know Joe can make it.
Oh, yeah. If there's one driver out here that's making it, it's Joe the Show, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I know I think I know kind of the mentality, and that's what he's thinking. I want to make sure I make it on fuel. If Thomas and him are thinking, because I'll be honest with you, Thomas Axiom that's a position. Well, there's 2 things. Obviously, you want to be in because you're the leader if you got the fastest car. 2, you don't want to be in because then you've got to make that hard call of, do I pit and give up this? Now, here's where I give Joe maybe a little credit. He pitted early. The longer that Thomas waits, the more time he's taken away on the track. So let's say if he waits to lap, as you see Abraham and company in the back, reckon. And along with Joe Burcham. Oh, well, man, got caught up in that mess. As let's watch this replay here, and pretty much I think it's going to be car got in the wall, another car got in the wall. I think Joe's just going to be a victim of wrong place, wrong time here. As Abraham and M's in front of him. We're watching. Yep, cars got together. Joe know where to go. And then right there is basically a product of, that's what happens when you get caught in the back,
Yep.
in the back and so forth. But basically, like I said, with Thomas here, and been out front, it's a double-edged sword. You want to be out front, you want to be the leader, you want to lead these races. You got the fastest car, but like what you mentioned, when do you pit? When do you give up that track position? Because the longer he waits, that's that much less of time he's got when he gets marred back, and if he gets marred back in traffic to come through the field. And we've already seen how hard that is to come through the field. And Joe was on pit road. Let's see. Well, we won't be able to see if he takes. Well, we'll be able to see if he takes tires, but he's got to take tires the time he spun it. I mean, there's just no.
don't think there's any way around it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way around it. I mean, Joe, his pit crews be making triple
There he
right now.
goes.
He's made them
Fine.
boys work tonight.
Right side tire's going on this time. Okay. Probably. What he'll do is put right. Will he do 4 tires? Yep, he's doing
Joe,
4.
are you good if is lights on the pace car still? You good if I pull Dalton Kilroy up? I want to
That's
ask
fine.
him
Go
about
ahead.
fuel.
Go ahead, man.
Dalton, this is Joe and Ted in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
So I know we spoke on fuel a little bit earlier, and so if you'll tell me, what's the fuel looking like? These guys that stayed out, they ain't pitted yet. Are they going to make it? What's the deal?
Yeah, it looks like they will make it. Because with all these with these couple caution laps, they've been kind of saving. It was gonna be, it was gonna be pretty close. If it went green the entire time, but with these caution laps, everybody can make it.
All right. Well, we'll wish you luck. Strap in. You got the lights off. Nope, lights are still. Yep, lights are off on the pace car. So good luck, Dalton. Get back up there. I know you had an incident earlier, but I have faith in you. Good luck, buddy.
10-4, man. Thank you.
So you hear it there, Joe? They
Yeah.
can make it.
So that's interesting. So we'll just have to see. And you know, in Thomas's mind, you know, so the cautions have helped him out. And you're right out there, Adam. Yeah, unfortunately, Joe hitting the wall there and Ford and bent it up. What's up, Sim Race? How you doing? See, Smith wasn't wrong. He could have just sent. Yeah, he could have. Hey. All right. Well, Thomas, he's getting that jump out front. Right behind him, you see Raymond and Klein. Them two going to duke it out side by side. So, with that, knowing that you can go all the way, when do you pressure it to try to get up there to Thomas?
I think it's go time now, and we're seeing it. These drivers, they're still too wide. Normally they've been kind of sorting it out pretty quick. We see Zach Murphy going underneath the 44 here, and I mean they're too wide throughout the pack a little bit, and I've heard drivers chirping at each other a little bit again.
Yeah, it's just a tough place to pass here, and you know it's really frustrating as a driver, and that that kind of just rolls over on the track and so forth for these guys. But so far, been pretty good on this restart. Caution, Fred Bard. Let's say Fred Bard. Oh, he just lost it.
I'm surprised that was the caution because there was actually some people talking up throughout the pack that was
Jamie
not
was
happy.
involved too, so let's.
Yes, okay. Jamie and Jack were chirping at each other, but I don't think they're near each other though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we just saw Jamie right there kind of just do a hard right, so I'm not sure if usually that means there's a disconnect on his end or a.
Yeah, so Jamie Smith has manually disconnected.
Did he disconnect?
Yes, sir, he disconnected.
And that's usually what happens when you see a car take a hard right like that, folks. You know, on the virtual world. Yeah. Boom. All right. It's Thomas out front though, still trolling this race.
I mean, he's had this race in his back pocket, and you know what he's thinking? Money. So right now I'm looking at incident points. When you're out front, it's hard to get an incident, Joe. He has 1 incident point. He is leading in that category. He's leading in the race, so he's looking to cash out on some money. He got the pole award, $15, and now he's looking to get whatever the lap bonus comes out to be.
It's all Thomas right now controlling this race. You got Klein in second, Murphy in third.
When do you think any of these guys up towards the front, Joe, are they going to elect to take tires tonight? Would you elect to take tires tonight? Do you give up track position for tires?
If I can go all the way, I mean, if I'm Thomas, if I know I can go all the way, I'm going to stay out as long as I can. The top two have yet to pit. Murphy pitted on lap 33, but I don't think he's taking tires. Raymond is not pitted. Pretty much everybody else in the field has pitted at least once. Doesn't mean they've taken tires because obviously, Brown, Gilroy, Mettler, they only had 8, 3, and 2 second style pit stops. If I know I'm good on fuel and I'm Thomas, at some point, and it's got to come here soon because I think we're working on lap 90? Are we on 90? Can't see him on the screen here.
88, coming to 89 right here.
So at some point, like I was saying before, you've got to weigh, is it beneficial to come in and lose the track position? Because we've seen guys like Joe and them just can't come through the field. I'd stay out.
Yeah, I
don't know of a scenario that he would. Yeah, I don't know a scenario that he would want to come into pit yet.
You see, Thomas has got a great jump, and I thought Zach Murphy was going to be able to fill that hole in second, but man, just wasn't able to get there. And you see, they're double file on back behind fourth place. They're fighting for fourth, fifth, and sixth right now. And you see that? I mean, they're still just. They're trying to sort it out here. They're jockeying for position, and
good race.
I can't tell who that is on the outside.
Raymond.
When I look at your screen, it's kind of distorted when I'm looking at what you're showing, and I can't. Yeah, that's Jason Raymond on the outside, and he's doing a mighty fine job hanging on right there in that 44 machine.
Yeah, you got Raymond right there, and then you see Kilroy is going to just stuff it down on the inside of him. Over time, he's going to kind of fall back just a little bit. Yeah, still just looks like that outside's not quite kind of the place to be right now. He's been able to hold his own a little bit because a lot of those guys, older set of tires, newer set of tires, he'd have really just dropped like a rock. You see the 83 right there, Joe Burchett now. He's moving back through the field, back up to 7th.
Curious to see if these fresh tires pay off for Joe. Now, you did say he took 4, correct?
Now he would be the... Well, now he doesn't want to see that.
Oh, no, he don't want to see that.
That's Raymond. And he's around. We saw that one live. Pretty much just got on the wall. Next thing you know, just boom.
Come on, you can on your brakes, guys.
Yeah. Ow. So, you're right. Joe right now is the only one in that top on newer tires. And obviously he's got to stay out of trouble. But patience still got to be, the key here. And it'd be interesting to see if those tires are going to pay dividends.
Sorry, Joe, for the quiet right then, handling some driver chat. But
that's all right.
I really think Joe's going to be on the move. We saw him run second to Axiom all night, and he's been really the only one that's been able to fill Axiom's mirror up. Meaning he's been the only driver that's been able to get right there to Axiom's bumper.
And with those 4 tires,
right,
I think the worst thing that Axiom wants to see is Joe get behind him. Because I think that at that point, that's where Axiom's going to say, okay, my older tires might not hold up. And obviously he's got to get up there, and where he's sitting at right now in 6th, he needs to be patient. He's still got plenty of time to get up there. No need to rush it, because he knows guys like Kilroy, Brown, Murphy, they're going to be battling hard for their positions. So definitely, just be patient. Take your time. Don't get into trouble.
Right.
We don't know if he's used this fast fix or not, because here's where you would love to have had it, just in case something does happen. But yeah, you're in a good position here. Burchett is, so don't overdrive the car. But give him any advice.
This is where, I told you at the start of the race, Joe, the driver said, I heard it multiple times, like, this is a driver's track. So we're about to see right here. He's on 4 fresh rubber. He should be, like you said, the furthest up on rubber. So it's about to get interesting. I think they need to strap on in and but be patient, like you said.
And we say that, I mean, we talk about him being the freshest out there on tires. It still might not matter. And the reason I say it that way is because a lot of these short tracks, if we were on a mile and a half, well, let me rephrase this a minute. But on some short tracks, track position is king. A lot of times short tracks, yes, tires really do matter because the fall off. If you're on a 1.5 mile track, a lot of times it's track position because the tires kind of even out so fast. Now they can't even out here. We'll just have to see. I mean, Joe was able to come to the field. He was held up just a little bit right there, but he's sitting up there in the 6th place spot. Kind of interesting to see what he does. Be patient.
Zach Murphy gets a terrible restart right then. Stack that inside lane up.
And you see Joe right there in the back. Caught on the outside. That's not where he wants to be. Those newer tires might be able to fight him back. You can see him right there. He's able to drive it into the turn a lot better than anybody else. And then this, I think Spotter said he was clear. Wasn't clear.
Not going to be a caution right there. So that's going to, I'm not going to write Joe the show off because they call him the show for a reason.
That was pretty much that was a perfect example of he thought he was clear, came down, and wasn't clear. Maybe the spotter, and we've talked about it before, sometimes the spotter can tell you you're clear, and then that gap just closes so fast. That's just unfortunate. That was just unfortunate. I didn't see that on his end. Wow.
Right, yeah, that sucks. That sucks. But there's still a good chunk of laps left in this race, Joe. He could fight his way back.
He's going to need some help. He's going to need some help.
He will. And it's been hard to pass here, but like I said, he's named Joe the show. I can't write him off, but I see Zach Murphy. He's trying to look underneath this 20. He seems like he's just fast enough to get there, but we talk about it all the time. Getting to that driver in front of you is one thing. Passing them is a whole nother story.
Talk about, and you know, we reference this a lot of time on NASCAR side of things, and you can pretty much say it with these cars too. Lap times, when you can tell a lot by lap time. Right now, Thomas ran a 1911 the last time to a 1927. Now that time around, Klein ran a 1919 to a 1922. That's what, about 3/4 tenths or hundredths. That is fast enough, obviously, to get to somebody, but it's not fast enough to pass them. In order to get around a car, you're almost going to have to be a tenth and a half to just get around them. If you're that half tenth, couple hundredths off, you might get to their inside or quarter panel, but that's going to be it. You're just not quite fast enough to get around. So lap times can tell us a lot on just how fast they are. And right now, you can see, like Klein that time ran a 1922 and Murphy ran a 1917. Yeah, he's faster. It's not fast enough to get around him.
You're exactly right, and it's amazing. We talk about this every week, but there's clusters on the track. So you see about the top 5, they're kind of together. Axon's a little bit checked out, and then further on back in the pack, you got that little cluster. But with the length that's left in this race, and this could be a big ask, but if this thing goes green, you know lap traffic's going to come into a play because we've already seen it. We've already seen it happen. So Thomas right now, he's enjoying looking out his windshield and seeing nothing but track. But he knows as this race goes on, there will be guys up there.
I was looking, Joe doesn't look like he's gaining a lot back there, still back in 12th. Watching this battle right here, this is about 8th and 9th place spot. That's the 42 of, you got the Ed Brown, Raymond, Acker right there. Fortunately, the 12 there, Brown got caught on the outside and he dropped back. Dropped him all the way back to 11th. Again, like we're saying, just these little bit of packs, but man, it's been this man all race long. He's loving it. Been out front, trolling this field, and right now is probably what he wants. That's the distance that it's a good, comfortable distance he's got, about a half a second. I'd love to see Murphy sit back there and maybe harass Klein that keeps him off of him. You see it right there. Because that keeps Klein window driving a lot. You got Kilroy right there with them. So Thomas just got to be smooth the rest of this way.
If we could, Joe, can we go on board with Zach Murphy, see what he's experiencing in his cockpit right now? Just as he's turning laps around this Stafford Motor Speedway here, trying to get past Mike Klein. I think he is. We said it was. I think he is a little bit faster, but you hit on it. A little bit's not going to get you there. As he actually going to look to the inside of Klein. He's going to try to use the apron right there. That's a very dangerous move.
Yeah, we saw right there, and it just, again, it goes back to those lap times. That's a perfect example. We're talking about fast enough to get to the inside. Now, obviously, for Klein, he's probably doing a little bit of window driving or mirror driving, and right there cost him because he got sideways. Now you see here, Murphy was able to make that pass, so he basically made Klein make a mistake to get around him. Now we're going to see if Murphy's fast enough to run down Axiom.
I thought he was going to bring Kilroy with him, but just didn't have the momentum to get up with him. But we hit on it earlier with Jason Day making that perfect pass. That was a textbook pass. He didn't do anything to upset Klein as far as bumping him or anything, but he got to his inside the corner before when they would make it stick. But then the very next corner, that forced Klein to go in a little bit deeper. And you saw what happened. Klein got loose, allowed Zach Murphy to get underneath him and make the pass.
You can see Klein right there. He overdrove that turn just a little bit, got down low, kind of upset that car, kind of threw it up the track. Probably the reason how Murphy got around him. But, yeah, right now, we go on board with him here and see if he's maybe struggling wheeling that machine a little bit. Let's watch.
I can tell from just the minute you got in there, he's turning the wheel more than Zach Murphy was.
Yeah. Right there.
He's really cranking that thing to the left in the center.
Keeping it smooth at least. I mean, that's the one thing I'm looking at too. He's not really. Now he fought it right there. You saw him go to the right. Yeah. Went to the right, and there he had to hang on to it. That's turn 3 and 4. Sawing it just a little bit. So he's a tick loose. I would say he's a tick loose. 1 and 2 looks a lot better. It's 3 and 4. Well, you don't want to do that. That's the wall. 3 and 4. Yeah, 3 and 4 looks like we're just having this issue at.
You look at that left mirror, that little mirror to his left. It was full of Dalton Kilroy behind him, and he knows you're good. He knows it's go time now. I mean, he has to go.
Kilroy's right there. You can see it. I mean, and that's the thing he's looking at too. He's looking. He's looking at his relative. He's looking at his rear view, and that's kind of, we talk about a guy in front of you making a mistake, and that's what you want to do. You get up there and maybe kind of intimidate him a little bit, I guess, which is what Murphy would like to do if he could get close enough to Axiom. The problem is Axiom right now is 1.7 second lead. He is gone.
Yeah, so Murphy wants a caution right now just to re-rack it and try, because we haven't seen Murphy up there. But then the 20's going to look underneath Zach, but I don't think he's going to have the horsepower on the backstretch to get it. But he's going to try to look there, and Murphy was able to close the door on him. But yeah, we haven't seen Zach Murphy get up there and try to battle Thomas Axiom. We've saw a few different drivers be up there, but I mean, so far tonight, it's been an Axiom show. He's been so far out that we really haven't had to show him on the broadcast too much, because I mean, he's his own show, you know?
I mean, he's out there running very good. I mean, that's what you want. You want to be out front. Saw right there with Mettler and Brown. They kind of got a little side by side with each other. That's for a 5th and 6th place spot. I mean, we've got some battles out the field, and folks, I understand. I could sit here and put the camera all day long on the leader, but there's a lot of guys out here racing on the track. A lot of battles.
Exactly. So, there's a lot of battles going on.
I mean, yeah, we know. I mean, dominant run by that guy right there. I mean, he's got a 2-second lead. I don't know what he's doing right this race, but whatever he's doing, keep it up, because it's working.
You're right. I mean, if you wanna learn how to drive Stafford in the tour mods, just go ahead and get your notebook out and jump in Axon's cockpit, because man, he is willing this machine.
We'll see how much he's maybe fighting the wheel. He's only fought it right there a little bit. I think all these guys are fighting just a little.
I noticed he's using the apron a little bit to help rotate that car, but you're playing Russian roulette, because it does upset the car. It gets a little loose.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much driving about it. It looks like it's pretty much just like everyone else out there. A lot of these guys are having a saw just a little bit on the wheel. for the most part. But these cars right now to the point where you got to be a little finesse with them. You're going to spin. You got these 3 machines right here, all nose to tail. Any one of these could take a position from somebody. I mean, just because they're that far apart from each other, all it would take is the guy in front of them just making a little slip up and a mistake.
All it ever takes is one mistake can run a race, and it can change a race.
We got 20 to go, and just right there, we're talking about it. Look at that, Murphy slipped up the track a little bit. It's going to open the door up for Klein. He's going to look inside, and this time Kilroy's going to say, I'm going to drive it in there too.
Ooh, he drove it in there deep in the corner, didn't he? He wanted to make sure he got that spot this time. He missed out last time. He didn't want to miss out this time.
Yep, and there's nothing actually Murphy can do at that point. Once you get stuck on the outside, there's not a lot you can do. See Kilroy now there, so just a little bit of mishap. Just like that, I mean, you can lose 2 or 3 positions.
That outside is not your friend here tonight. We've seen it time and time again.
Got another 3-car battle right behind them. That would be Brown, Raymond, and Hacker. That's for the 5th, 6th, 7th place spot. So again, any one of those guys could come up iron. Abraham, and out there cruising by himself right now. In the 9th place, you got Chris, was it Stitz? All right, Stitz.
I'm really not sure. I'm not sure. Normally I can help you out, but I can't help you out on that one. I have no clue.
Well, Chris hanging on right there to the 10th place spot. Brown out there in 11th, and Langham 12th, and then we go to the first lap down car would be Quattros, and then Frank Barb, and then unfortunately Joe Burcham is out of the race.
Oh, did he? Let me check. Oh yeah, Joe Burchett out of the race. Levi Allen out of the race.
Wow. Yep. So from Joe Burchett all the way back, Lee, James, Ken Zeems, and Jason Day all out for tonight. Brings us back up to this man here. Axiom. He's getting into lap traffic again. We always know once you get in that lap traffic, danger lurks around every corner.
That it does.
This is a good battle heating up right here. Kilroy coming out there doing his dirt track impersonation.
Yeah, he thought he was at Eldora instead of Stafford right there.
Yeah. They run these cars on dirt. Have they ever run them on dirt?
I don't think so. They have, what's those ones? They're like UMPs or something like that?
Yeah, the UMPs,
but
yeah.
They're different than these. I don't think so.
But you would think that a car like this actually could run on dirt.
That's something we need to try out. That'd be a good special event fun run one night.
Why a car like this? I mean, it's kind of off subject, folks. I mean, hey, maybe chime in like in the chat or something if you're thinking. Why? I don't know why I was thinking that these would, but a car like this, the way it looks, the way it's planted, the way it is, just the way it looks like it's built, would run well on dirt. You would think so.
I think you could set this car up and run dirt. I think you could.
I'm gonna have to look up some history on it, or somebody can out there. Has modifieds ever run on dirt? Because they are close to what you would say a late model, or like you said, the UMP. Because the UMP is almost built similar. The only biggest difference I would say, and man, we can go back here in the back because Raymond and them back there are killing each other.
They're battling. They're battling
hard. The only difference I would say right here is these cars, suspension-wise, looks a lot more stiffer than what a dirt car would be. But if you got them on a smooth enough dirt track, but man, I'm gonna tell you what, these guys are definitely kind of
That's
low.
not gonna work.
Wow, good save by Brown. That was awesome.
That's a dirt track save right there. That was a good save.
If you got them on a good enough dirt track, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, like you said, it'd be a fun little event to see. I think it would be might be surprising,
Well, I think we are. We're gonna try it one night. Just throw it up and see if anybody joins. And I like going in and trying to build setups.
The history of these cars. I'm just wondering if they've ever, in real life, have run these cars history-wise on dirt. And I don't know why I thought about it. Because I guess because they're out there sideways and all.
Yeah,
the way they look,
yeah.
Huh.
So I kind of missed my cue at 10 to go, Joe, but we'll do the 8 to go, brought to you by BAM Racing Videos over on YouTube.com. That's BAM Racing Videos, BAM Racing Videos, BAM Racing Videos. If you like short track racing in real life, go to BAM Racing Videos. If you like sim racing, that's OSR Network all day.
I hear you. Well, I tell you what, man, we just like bringing it here, and so far it's been a good race. I mean, we've had, a few cautions here and there. We've had some good long green flag runs, and this man right here is just pretty much, he's dominated from the start of the race till now. Have we seen anybody lead every lap this season?
Haven't. We have not seen a driver be this dominant all season.
Don't want to jinx him yet. It's not over with. Right, obviously, we've seen weirder stuff happen, but
we're just going off what we've seen thus far. Man, he's put together a picture-perfect race.
And I got to go out, on a limb. Obviously, if he wins this race, he's going to be the man taking home the money, too. Because I don't think he's got any incident points out.
He has 1X is what iRacing's showing me. But, yes, he is currently the next person closest to him would be Dalton Kilroy. But he has a 4X. So if Thomas was to get a 4X, then it would go to Dalton. But I don't think Thomas is going to get any X.
As long as he stays off the wall.
Yeah,
or out of somebody,
Right.
I mean, he's still got about 4 or 5 turns around here to get it done. But, I mean, he has been definitely dead dominant. I mean, this right here, it's kind of just, this can really set the stage for your season. When he first came out here, he was talking about, I want to win. And then he changed it to, I want to be consistent for championships. Now he's back in a winning mode. So it's like, why not do both? Win and win the championship. There you go.
I mean, right. Yeah. He said he wanted points. You get the most points when you come out here and win this race. And that's exactly what Thomas is doing. And I mean,
good battle right here.
This is a fixed setup right here as we come to 2 laps to go. A fixed setup, Joe. And he's got a 5-second lead over these drivers. And there's some drivers out here that have taken tires. Thomas
this is one of these tracks that he loves. I mean, some guys love certain tracks. See, good battle right here this is actually for 3rd place as a white flag. And I always say, with white flag, doesn't matter what they do, they kill themselves on the track. It's going to be over with here. But has Raymond got what it takes to take 3rd away from this man as Axiom comes out of turn 4? He's going to win it. Klein's going to come out of there. We'll see if Raymond's going to come out of 4. He's going to put the boot to him. Nope. Kilroy is going to hang on to that 3rd place spot. What a finish to this one.
It wasn't the best race ever, I'll be quite honest, and that's just because we had a driver that Thomas Axiom
better than last week.
Yes, it was. I mean, anything could be better.
But this was a better track. Let's just, I want to take nothing away from those guys on the out here, week in and week out. This was a whole, again, we go by Concord last week's just one of those tracks. This is a whole better track than what Concord is, so a lot better for these drivers.
It was. So we had Thomas Axiom finish in P1. Mike Klein brought it in P2. Good podium finish from Mike Klein. And Dalton Kilroy came in P3. I'm going to see if we can hunt these drivers down. We'll bring Dalton up to first. That's our last place on the podium. So he made it to the podium. Dalton Kilroy, this is Tanner Martin, Joe White in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
So you started the race really strong, qualified good. You got up to 2nd, got involved in a little incident early on. Talk me through it. Talk me through your race.
Yeah, it was mainly just trying to maintain some tires, and wasn't really doing the best at that. The right rear was wearing a lot more than any other tire, so it was just kind of getting loose, especially on entry, and it wasn't really wanting to rotate right. Especially under braking on a long run, it would kind of slide into the corners and you'd have to wait to catch it. I did have that one incident that you were talking about earlier, and race control said it was just there, looked like almost like an arrow loose type of situation. I don't know, I haven't gone back to look at it, but is what it is. I'm just glad I was able to get back up to P3 in this Gaudios Tour mod.
I mean, yeah, you did a very impressive race. And a great comeback. It was kind of hard to pass here tonight. I didn't think it would be like that, but watching you drivers, you had to really work on that guy in front of you. So kudos to the top 3 finish, Dalton. That's another podium finish for that 41 Daddy-O's machine. You got any sponsors or shots you want to thank?
Oh, I gotta thank FB's Button Box, Spam Racing Videos, Savage Edge Apparel, Michael Falk Racing Designs, Raise Energy, Marconi Setup Shop, you two for doing the broadcast here tonight, every single one of my teammates at 5 Kings Motorsports, and Daddy-O's Barbershop. Who else? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but that's all I can think of at the moment.
You know, Joe, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Dalton's done this a few times. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And what's funny is I know Dalton. He's actually on my team, 5 Kings Motorsports, like on Facebook. But I know he's wearing a big VR headset right now, so he don't have a cheat sheet. So that's pretty impressive. Good race tonight, Dalton. Good job on the sponsors, make me happy. And maybe we'll see you next week out here.
Done for, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good finish for him right there, like you said, tonight. So, wow.
Very, very strong finish. And I mean, a very strong finish for Mike Klein, too, in that 20 machine, if I do recall correctly. Mike Klein, this is Tanner Lauren, the OSR Network booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, but I have a feeling you're doing better after finishing P2 than Mr. Thomas Axiom tonight.
Yeah, after a couple drops of sweat, it feels pretty good to get a P2 tonight.
I mean, a very strong finish, Mike, and I've ran with you in officials. I know you're really fast, so you qualified 9th tonight when you came out here, and from qualifying to that open qualifying, a little bit different format what we normally do, but you qualified 9th at a track that's hard to pass and brought yourself up to P2. Talk me through your race.
Well, I know it was 150 laps. The team and I discussed, being patient and making the right moves when we can. But it was great door-to-door racing with all these guys. Crooked Line Racing, I appreciate you guys, letting me join the league.
You know, I'll be honest, maybe it's egotistical for me to say this, but I love to hear y'all say y'all appreciate the league. I tell you what, I appreciate you guys that come out every single week. Y'all don't miss a race on Monday or Tuesday. Y'all come out, y'all support the league. So with that, I'll say I appreciate you probably way more than you ever appreciate me, because y'all give me something to do. I give y'all something to do, but I love watching y'all come out here. Y'all put on a show each and every week, Mike, and that's from my heart, and I appreciate y'all coming out here. You got any more sponsors? You said your team. Shout out your team. Let me hear it. Yeah,
my dad, Terry Klein, for Klein Concrete. He does an amazing job. That's towards the northeast. But, Marconi Setup Shop, providing the setups. OSR Network, putting on a great broadcast for everybody. I certainly enjoy listening and watching you guys broadcast. And the 5 Kings, that, yeah.
Well, we appreciate it, Mike, and hopefully we'll be talking to you more this season. I know you're fast. I know you're competitive everywhere we go. We'll be New Smyrna next week, August 3rd. 125 laps New Smyrna. We'll see you there, Mike.
See you there. Thanks.
Yes, sir. So there you go. That's a good second place finish whenever he started P9, Joe, but was able to actually make his way up through the field. And that was something we didn't see a whole lot of drivers do tonight. But Absolutely. You got the race winner in here now, Mr. Thomas Axiom. Put it on the pole. That's 3 wins this season here.
It is. Thomas, Joe in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what, dominating run here. That's actually the first time I think, we've seen somebody go from flag to flag, leading every lap. And then how was you feeling about not taking tires and fuel the entire race?
See, the whole strategy when I saw Joe Burchett, I know that's a big dog. He was with me that whole race, first 50 laps, and I was going to be a little wary about pitting because I ran a league race here last night. If you track position outweighs those 2/10 on tires, and he pitted on lap 50, and I saw the next 3 yellows. He didn't gain anything, and I just said on lap 75 we're going to commit, and we're going to make the bed, and we're going to lay in it, and hopefully we finish up front, and we were able to stick it up there, and old tires prevailed.
Absolutely, you definitely dominated this race. Now, is this one of your favorite tracks?
It definitely is. I had 120 laps in a league race yesterday, and I got a championship locked up for Stafford. So I think Stafford just became one of my new favorites, actually.
Well, obviously, too, one of the things, put it in victory lane, winning the race tonight too. A little bit richer, because and Tanner's a little bit poor over there. So you got the money for the leading the laps, or actually clean laps, that is, for the caution. We'll say the caution challenge. How's that?
We're still trying to figure it up, Thomas. I'll let you know here shortly whenever I back out and I can see the results page.
If you start hearing Tanner cry, that's what it is. That's what happened.
Yeah, right.
We know it was too much, but good race all in all. I mean, around about out front, you dominated this place. You look good. It's going to help you in the points, like I said, stated earlier. Second win of the season here. Got anybody you want to thank for an awesome finish?
Yeah, just a huge shout out to the Five Kings Motorsports putting on that. I mean, for 150 laps around a track that's semi one groove, like you definitely can't go two grooves. It's very close. It was pretty good, all in all. I don't know how many green flag laps we did. I have a rough idea in my head, but I'd say it's a lot better. I don't think the money motivated people. I think people are just a little bit smarter. Just need to weed out a couple of the few, and be squared away. So just shout out to Five Kings Motorsports, Tanner and Joe White. You guys up in the booth helping us out every week. My boy Big Meech watching the stream tonight. My boy Anthony watching the stream. My mom, my grandparents, Studio 10's Designs, Bernier's Liquors, Peter Bernier, and just once again you guys for putting on the broadcast. Love going back and watching it. And just Crooked Line Racing.
Man, I'll tell you what, as always, it's good to see you out there in a dominating run here tonight. That's the man, Thomas Axiom, bringing it home here, leading them all tonight here. So what a run it was there, Tanner, here at Stafford. These guys put on a pretty good show.
I mean, Thomas was the class of the field, no doubt. But the rest of these guys, you can't shortchange them by no means. They put on a heck of a show too. It was a good race, and I'm happy it's done. We're gonna be out a little bit of change, but that's okay. You know, these drivers come out here, they had fun. I had fun, Joe. I always enjoy calling the race with you on Tuesday nights. I look forward to it. We're going to do some murder next week, Joe. That's going to be that's your two groove type track right there. There will be some low line and high line action.
And I think we also, just let everybody know, tune in on Monday night. So we'll be here Monday too. So
that is right. Okay, I forgot about that. So for the ones that don't know, we just signed OSR Network. They're going to be covering Crooked Line Racing Super Late Model Series, and I promise you, Josh Musexon, myself, we are through the moon for that. We honestly are. That's not me sugarcoating anything.
Me and Alex up here in the booth next week. So I got Alex going to come up here with me. He's a good guy. He helps me out on a lot of the other NASCAR stuff. So that'll be interesting and all be fun.
Let me see where we're at real quick for the super lates, and then we can cut out of here. So next week's gonna be a good one for y'all to come at. And we're going to Martinsville, Joe.
Nice, short tracking it right there, Martinsville, paperclip right there. But as always, for myself and everybody here, Crooked Line and the Five Kings Motorsports, everyone, have a good night.